This plugin has been out for about 3 years now, and everyone has their opinion on it. But to me, it's become one of the most valuable things that I have anytime I work on a song and I do my own master. Now, if you have the privilege of getting your tracks mastered, make the label pay for it. But if not, and you want to master your own stuff to put out and share with the world, I think Bassroom is dope, even in a treated room in a bedroom studio. I usually will use the feature of a reference track, which you can click on the bottom left and essentially import by hitting plus. Then you can highlight certain areas of the track you want Bassroom to look at, and you will create targets, essentially creating a profile. From there, you hit play on your song, where the drop is or where you have the most low end. And it will give you some targets to hit. Now, the way to use this is simple, okay? You have a quadrant here, which essentially how surgical do you want the cut to be. If you want to hear what that's doing, you're going to hold control and you're going to click, and then you get to hear it in and out. From there, you can see here there's this line on the left side and on the right, and that's a target to hit, which you're going to hit control to get out. And you're pretty much clicking and moving up and down. The Q comes in handy because if you know basic EQ theory, when you're cutting, you cut like a plastic surgeon. You don't want to leave any scarring. And when you're boosting, you can boost more musical, or as many would say, broader. You know, it sounds more organic when you boost broader and when you cut surgical instead of doing it the other way around. So if I'm going to boost here, I'm going to go a little more broader, and I can click, control, click. Sure, I like that. Okay, from there you have a total of 5 bands. And the thing I like about Bassroom is that usually I wouldn't think to get this surgical with like, oh, between 20 and 40 or 40 and 80 or 80, 160. Usually I see the low end as a block. And maybe that's a mistake on my part. But again, in my experience, I find a lot of use for this. It's very easy for someone to say, well, you just use your ears and EQ, right? But I don't know. I'm a very visual guy, and sometimes I overthink stuff. So knowing that something has my back and is saying, hey, you hit the targets you need to, it's always good. Now, of course, use your ears. If it sounds like poop, then don't do it. And don't be scared to go above or below the intended recommended setting. So from there, let's get this to where it needs to be. If volume is increased or lost, it has a cool little feature here which you can gain, or essentially gain stage back to where you were at. Here's another example of me using Bassroom. The references for this track include this track called Groovy by Cloud and then a Martin Icken track. So it's giving me the targets to hit. I don't want to, yeah, I'm going to get rid of those damn tips. Okay, there we go. We have it. Again, doing cuts, we hold control and we can zoom in, hear what we're doing.
Close your eyes and drift away. Close your eyes.
Now, Bassroom will have different presets, which I'm not gonna lie, I'll use them here and there, but I always tend to resort back to going into references and just picking a few that sound similar to what I'm trying to go for. But at the end of the day, it's a great tool, and I feel it does more good than cause harm, to be fair. And I think every producer should have it, unless you're in like $1 million studio that's treated to the brim and you have perfect low-end response. And this thing, it's good. Makes me feel safe. It makes me feel like I'm doing a good job, especially when it doesn't tell me to reduce by a lot on the low end in certain spots or to boost by a lot, because you can click this button here to increase or decrease the dB range that you are doing to the song. If you guys like tips like this, consider watching this video here where I talk about how high frequencies are destroying your tracks. And literally the technique discussed in that video is called housing. If that's foreign to you, make sure to check it out, and see how it can make you sound 10 times better.